Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2008 Hyundai Santa Fe GLS. Up front is a 2.7-liter V6, and down below is a 4-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this Santa Fe for two reasons. First of all, I haven't done this generation of Santa Fe before. However, I have filmed the modern Hyundai Santa Fe, which, if you didn't know, would think that they came from completely opposite sides of the world. But they are technically the same vehicle. The second reason is the fact that I like this era of SUVs, and so I'm always excited to drive another. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form, and it takes under a minute to fill out. And huge thank you to North Naperville Autos for lending me this Santa Fe for today's video. If you would like to browse their extensive and impressive inventory, you can do so in the description below. But let's get back to that 2.7-liter V6 under the hood. Well, this is kind of the same engine that came in the first generation of Santa Fe, this being a second gen. That was known as the Delta engine. This is the Mu engine, and basically the big difference is the fact that they've added continuously variable valve timing, which is definitely nice and does bump up those power numbers. I also like the fact that this is a V6 when not necessarily all of its competitors came with a V6. I'm looking at the Honda CR-V that never came with a V6. The Mazda CX-5 never came with a V6, and it didn't even exist at this point. It would have been the Mazda Tribute, which did come with a V6, but I guess that's an outlier. The RAV4 could be had with a V6. Okay, so I guess it was among some peers. I just immediately thought of the CR-V and called it a day. So there were some V6 offerings, but it's always nice to see that in this size of vehicle. We'll talk about that with the final thoughts. Like I said, paired to it is an automatic transmission. It's fine. It's shifting well. However, you could find these in a manual. Very, very rare, and I have driven a manual Hyundai Tucson, which was pretty similar, but this is just the automatic, and it's doing a fine job. Last but not least, this particular Santa Fe is all-wheel drive. However, you could find these in front-wheel drive as you went down the trim levels. You more often got front-wheel drive, but this is the all-wheel drive variant. How does it feel to drive the Hyundai Santa Fe from 2008? It's fine. Like I said, that V6 is noticeable. You get that around town torque that I think was missing from a couple of its competitors, but apparently not all of them as I thought about it. But that is very, very nice in this smaller, lighter vehicle than what you would think of with the modern Santa Fe. The modern Santa Fe feels like an A1 Abrams tank compared to this. Visibility is also really good. I really enjoy that. And the ride is okay. I wouldn't consider it a nice plush ride. I wouldn't consider it anything special, but it's not breaking my spine in half, so I guess it gets some type of points for that, I guess. We'll go with it. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 3 gauges. Off to the left is my tachometer, in the center is my speedometer, and off to the right is my fuel and coolant temperature. On the steering wheel, on the left, we do have our mode, volume, skip track, and mute, and off to the right, we have our cruise control. To the left, we have the climate control vent, nice to see that, and a little bit of fake wood accent. Again, we'll talk about more at the final thoughts, but this does have wood across the interior, or at least fake wood. Then we do have our traction control off and all-wheel drive lock button down below. Very interesting to see that in a soccer mom car. We also have the gauge dimmer switch, and moving onto the door, we have the latch to get in and out, power mirrors, power locks, and power windows. Moving into the center, we get a little cubby up top. Hyundai and Kia loved doing this in this era. Not totally sure why, but it's featured again here in the Santa Fe. Digital clock as well as our radio down below. We also have our defrosters front and rear. And the climate controls, fan speed off to the left, where to send in the center. Really love this. This looks like almost like a weapon wheel from a video game. If you've ever played like Grand Theft Auto or Crackdown or Red Dead Redemption, kind of reminds me of that. And off to the right, we have the temperature. Then we do get a little pop-out ashtray. Really, really like that, actually. And then we have two 12-volt outlets, dead switches, and a cubby. And then the shifter itself. The shifter, again, is surrounded by this fake wood material. And it's fine. It's a jigsaw-style shifter. It's a little annoying to use, especially since so many car makers have gone away from this design. I haven't driven a car with this in a couple of months. And now to be back in it, it's just a little bit annoying. But down below that, we do have cup holders. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test. And Hyundai of this era actually passes more often than not. The Hyundai Elantra Touring passes, the Azura passes, and now the Santa Fe from 2008 passes the big friggin' bottle test. Then we do have a dual opening center console, so a larger container in the bottom and a smaller one up top. And the seats are cloth. They aren't anything really too crazy to write home about. They are manual seats as well, which I would like to have seen a little bit nicer seats, or at least power seats for the GLS, but at the end of the day, or at least for a Hyundai product, I've always had a Hyundai as sort of more upscale in my mind than Kia, but I guess we don't get that. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2008 Hyundai Santa Fe GLS, and a couple of things to note. First of all, I fit okay. My knees are just starting to hit the seat in front of me. However, you can actually recline these seats, and when you do, it pushes the bottom forward and the top up. So this actually, now that I'm sitting straight up and down, this is actually kind of better. Kind of interesting to see that. We do have lights, which have giant buttons, and down here we have a 12-volt outlet as well as a little pull-out cubby. Nice features back here for kind of a basic SUV, and I fit back here. You're gonna fit all your friends back here. I can't tell you how many times in high school, how many friends had these SUVs, and we'd go to a soccer game or football game in the back of this. We'd have our 7-Eleven Slurpees and be jamming our tunes through 8 different adapters to go from the lightning cable to the aux to a Bluetooth adapter to the radio station. You had to set it to 88.5. Like, those memories start to come up when I'm in the back seats of vehicles like this, because that's how I spent my high school days. And I can't yearn for my high school days while having this ridiculous mustache. So I'm going to cut it there. No class ring. I don't have a class ring. I'm not that bad. I'm a good guy, I swear. Let's hop into the back and talk about the trunk, because there's an interesting way to get back there, and then we'll talk about the looks. So in all honesty, this is all I was talking about, is that you actually have a handle with sort of like an interior handle to pull it up. Very beefy and off-roady for, again, a soccer mom vehicle. Once we are back here, plenty of space back here, and you can see the difference between the reclined and non-reclined back seats, just how much extra space that you get. You also do get a 12-volt power outlet over here, and we can pop this up for a ton of storage down here. You have some added floor mats, some cargo nets. Oh, okay. And you have some more storage down here. Okay, we're gonna leave that alone. But there is the rear cargo space of a 2008 Hyundai Santa Fe. A lot more than I was expecting. Handle here or handle here to pull down, but we'll use that, and there you go. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and it's fine. I will say I do have a touch of nostalgia with these. My neighbors growing up at the end of my street bought 2 of these, and I had never seen that happen before. They bought 2 identical Hyundai Santa Fe's. One was red, one was black. But other than that, they were indistinguishable, and it was this generation of Santa Fe. Now, I haven't been back to my childhood street in a while. I don't know if they still own them. But I had never seen that happen. A couple owning identical cars, let alone a Santa Fe. But anytime I see those taillights, because I saw them parked in their driveway every single day of my childhood, I like the look. They do add a little sense of nostalgia for me. However, with all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the 2008 Hyundai Santa Fe GLS? Well, I've enjoyed my time with it. As I mentioned earlier, I love this era of SUVs, and there's 2 reasons for that. First of all is the size. These don't feel grotesquely large. I can park them in a parking spot and not overhang anything, which can't always be said about modern SUVs, especially the modern Santa Fe. It's gotten a lot bigger. Not only with its lightness, the other thing I really like is the simplicity of it. The radio is straightforward. There's no touch screen. The climate controls, I love those big chunky buttons. Visibility is wonderful. I have confidence driving it because I can see out of it, which I know sounds like a trivial idea, but again, not always common in modern SUVs. That paired with the all-wheel drive system and the V6, you get that added torque, you get those 2 extra spinning wheels, especially for the wintertime here in Chicago. This is what we have to put up with for 3 to 4 months out of the year, and I want all-wheel drive to conquer that, and you get that here. A set of BlizzX's would go a long, long way for this Santa Fe. I like it. I think it's a really, really solid package in retrospect. And as we talked about with the wood interior, the different colored interior, this is when Hyundai started to say, okay, we're on our 2nd generation of Santa Fe. The first one worked out pretty well. Now we're able to do a second one. We got a couple bucks in our pocket. Now we can start to go up market. And you start to feel that a little bit. This feels nicer than the 1st generation. And now today, well, it's a gosh darn spaceship with its matte brown paint and its UV sanitizer in the glove box and giant touchscreen and big wheels. All of that cutting edge tech started with this. Because of this car's success, Hyundai said, okay, now we can do a next generation. And they did, and it looked more like this car. I drove a 2019 Santa Fe, and it still resembled this car, just with a more modern take. But then that car was such a success that Hyundai, I don't know, went a little haywire, and now we have our modern car. But on the flip side, I kind of miss it. I kind of miss this. I kind of miss how straightforward this was, how uncomplex it was. I got in, I turned the key, which I know is an odd idea in today's market to have to turn a key, but I turned the key and I drove and it was fine. I didn't need a PhD in order to operate the screen. There was no screen to operate. So it has me questioning if this car were sentient, if it would be proud of what it turned into. But I guess we'll never know. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to North Naperville Autos for letting me borrow their Hyundai Santa Fe for today's video. They are absolutely wonderful. They ship to all 48 states. They offer financing. They are Carfax certified, and now they offer mobile detailing. So, no matter if you're in Naperville or across the country, you can check out North Naperville Auto's inventory, and I highly recommend that you do so down in the description below. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.